What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Geek Boutique podcast, the official podcast of the Geeks and Company. That's right. My name is JS. His name is El Rabo. What was it? El Chico Malo.
El Rabo the bad
El
guy.
Rabo, the bad guy. How you doing, buddy, this week?
I am doing fantastic. That's all I have to say about that.
Now, I'm sure you are noticing, yes, Mr. Jeff's not with us today. Although it looks like there's nobody, there's people in the chat, but it doesn't show anybody in the counter, which is kind of weird. But yes, Jeff is not with us tonight. Unfortunately, Jeff came down with the flu. So, buddy, I hope you get soon better. We're going to miss you tonight. I think we're going to have some great conversations. We're going to do a little bit of some different things tonight that we haven't really done before. So we're going to keep that for a little bit later. Before we go any further, man, I love that intro. Our little Halloween spooky season intro is back because, of course, it is spooky season. It's October is upon us. Halloween is almost here for a lot of us cosplayers. It's a favorite freaking time of year. Ooh, we got a bunch of people in the chat already. Matt Sheridan, Matt, I can't share that on screen, man. Natasha Wright says, "Spooky greetings, geeks." What's up, Natasha? Collaborated cosplay is saying late. How are you late? You usually only here like with 15 minutes to go, and you're already here. Andrew Saxons, salutations to all you beautiful geeks and ghouls. What's up, buddy? There you go. That's a good one. Geeks and ghouls. I gotta remember that one. Christina saying good evening. Danielle is saying hey. Stephanie Red Moon Glasswork saying hey, gang. What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming in. Marcy's saying hello. There's a bunch of people here. Michael's joining us. Wow. I feel like Michael's, yeah. I feel like he hasn't been around for a while, but so keep it PG in the chat, please. Michael's around. You know he's
he
gonna
spends
get
a lot of time
control.
like on the TTC and stuck in traffic.
So, that damn TTC, man. You know what? Can we take a TTC break for a quick second? I think we have to call our buddy chief supervisor because man. TTC has been a fucking mess these days. If you don't live in the Toronto area and you don't know where the TTC is, thank fucking God for you. Because I only have to take the train once a week. And there's a problem every time I take the fucking train. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, I don't understand it. Every time, the TTC, every time I have to take the subway, anywhere, there's a problem. Every single time. It's so frustrating, man. It's so frustrating. And I'm on the road for hours. Every day I'm on the road for hours when I have to go into the city. And there's trouble every single time. Listen, I'm sorry, guys. We're not here to talk about the TTC. But goddamn, TTC, get your shit together. It's ridiculous.
While we're on the subject, Andre is apparently on the TTC currently. What's the word from the street there, Andre?
Oh, well, there you go, Andre. Is it actually moving or are you sitting at a station going nowhere? Yeah, the subway's a bit of a mess. I'll go figure. It's not even rush hour anymore. And
there we go. Talk about a horror show.
TTC, that's the real horror show. We're gonna be talking about some horror today. Let's be honest. We with the beginning of the spooky seasons, we figured what best way to start celebrating. Well, not just Halloween, but like I said, the whole spooky season. Talking about horror cosplay and specifically horror cosplayers and their cosplays. I think it goes without saying, if you're a cosplayer, you've done a horror cosplays at one point. There's a lot of people that exclusively do horror cosplays. There's a lot of people that are into horror as a genre, but aren't even into cosplay as a thing. So we're going to explore all of that tonight. But before we do, if you haven't clicked that like and subscribe button, please do. It really helps a guy out here. I know we're always last minute and we always come up with these weird kind of shows, but man, you get to watch these ugly mugs for an hour a week. So please click that subscribe button. It really helps us out. Oh, by the way, if you didn't know, we have a bunch more content also on the YouTube channel. The after shows. After shows are coming to an end, or specifically the Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. Yeah, Rings of Power Season 2 after show coming to an end this week. The final episode was this week, so that should be out either tomorrow or Saturday. Again, with Jeff having the flu, unclear as to when that one will come out, but keep your eyes out. That one will be out soon. We had a brand new Geeking Out this week that just came out. If you haven't seen it, guys, we got a chance to sit down with Jeff Johns. you don't know who Jeff Johns is, you're not a comic book fan. Because he is responsible for so much, especially in the DC universe. He was CEO at DC for I don't know how long. He was responsible for all the major storylines at DC, from the Three Jokers to, I believe, Flashpoint, Blackest Day, Brightest Day, and Darkest Night. I think were the two series. Listen, he was responsible for a ton of stuff. He was also responsible for a lot of the DC TV shows and movies. So big deal. We got to sit down.
Big deal.
We
didn't
really,
think that was going to happen.
We didn't think that was going to happen. No, actually, if we could take a few seconds to talk about that, we were kind of like all weekend we were interviewing comic book creators. I'll be 100% honest. For me, the real idea is I needed him to see us interviewing everybody else. Right? I figured if he sees us interviewing everybody else and everybody else is saying yes, maybe he'll feel like he has to kind of say yes, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have to do anything, but I mean, I figured if I interview all his guys that are on Ghost Machine with him, he's kind of got a,
either a little bit of FOMO,
right?
or
So, so that's what we did, and at the end of the second day, his handler told us, "Come back tomorrow morning, first thing." That was on the Saturday. So on day 3, come back on day 3, first thing, and at the end of his shift, we might be able to get you like a 10 or 15 minutes. And we were like, we'll be there. So we got there early and we interviewed somebody else, and then we made our way there, and she was like, yeah, now. So like, holy crap. Like we got there, set up, started filming within like a minute. It was craziness. And he was amazing. He was wicked. He was super nice. Another G off.
I was gonna say another G off, which they clicked on like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, I'll give you 5 minutes, and 15 minutes later, we're like, we gotta cut this off.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was the key, right? He only had a certain amount of time before he had to get to another thing. So that's why his handler told us, you have 10 minutes. So the sooner you get started, the more you'll be able to get in, because you have 10 minutes. So that's why we were in such a hurry to get started and get it in. And we got 10 minutes with him. We actually got 10 minutes of video. It was a great interview. It's up now, guys. Go check it out. Of course, it mainly focuses on the Ghost Machine stuff, his new stuff that is out now. He's left DC, by the way, to start his own brand within Image Comics. If you don't know about Image Comics, again, go check out our Geeking Outs. Almost every creator has mentioned Image Comics and explained a little bit about what Image Comics is and what they do and what the idea is there, but it's all creator owned. So for them, it's a big deal because they get to make what they want, right? They have full control of their creations. So it's a very neat concept. It's very different than working for a big box store like a Marvel or a DC. So go check that interview out. Jeff is the one that, I've already brought that one up. Jeff is the one that got to sit down with him and talk to him. A collaborated cosplay is saying, "Hey, Rob, I love that Captain Rex helmet you got back there. I know, right? It's a really nice helmet, right? I don't know where you hooked up with that thing or how you got lucky enough to hook up with that thing, but man, that's a great job on that thing."
You know what? I've never won. I'm not a lot like I don't ever win anything. And I won that, and I love it. And I'm going to probably now make a cosplay to go with it.
Hey, dude, if you're gonna make a clone trooper, I mean, I'm in. I'll make a clone trooper.
I think we have to.
There we go.
Yep.
More Star Wars cosplays coming. More Star Wars cosplays coming. Guys, we're here to talk about not Star Wars cosplays. We're here to talk about horror and horror cosplay. We cannot have that conversation without talking to our buddy Rob over here, because I mean, Rob almost exclusively does horror cosplays, maybe except for Kylo Ren. But the Predators, I'll give you. We had this conversation ahead of time, guys. It's hard to qualify the Predators as horror, even though I think the original movie was classified as sci-fi horror.
Yeah, and I think the key word is the placement of the word horror, or the key point there is the placement of the word horror, right? It's sci-fi horror.
Yeah.
Sci-fi first, horror.
Yeah.
I don't think it's horror. It's sci-fi horror.
Yeah, and especially since anything after the first movie isn't really horror anymore at all, right? It's just sci-fi action. So, um, I think we listen. I'm going to bring this up. I can't believe I haven't even shared this yet. We can't talk about horror cosplay without talking about our buddy Rob's. There you go. I'm going to bring it up. I promise. It's coming, guys. I swear to God, it's coming. Boom. Rob's Michael Myers. Now,
Yeah, that one's a horror.
I got to say, this is probably one of the better Michael Myers as far as I'm concerned. And this is probably one of my favorite cosplays of yours. And I don't know if I have that feeling, if that's a nostalgia thing for me, just because this was kind of where it all really started for us. Right? When we went from just doing decorations to actually turned it up a notch is when
This is where we
this
went,
was
yeah.
when. This was when. And obviously you went Michael Myers, I was Jason. We built a Crystal Lake cabin in your garage.
We did. In my garage.
We literally had people like coming by at like 10 o'clock at night saying, "Is it still open?" Like, no, dude, what? It's Halloween night. It's 10 o'clock. There's school tomorrow morning. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it had
Hey.
it went viral on I guess it was Facebook at the time, right? And
Yeah,
like 10 o'clock at night, we got people showing up with their kids, like, ding dong, like, you still doing the thing? Like, no.
So what was it for you? You know what? Let me go a little bit more general. Why do you think that the horror genre, as a general, I'm not just talking about a cosplay thing, right? But as a general, why do you think the horror genre is so popular? Why are so many people like so in love with it? Like everybody likes certain things. The people that like horror are like crazy into horror, right? It's like a part of their lives. Why do you think that is?
Wow, that's such a big question. I think
It's a bit of a
there's a
loaded
lot of
question.
yeah, there's a lot of psychological answers to that question, I think, right? Horror is not something, it's a little bit not taboo, but it's outside of mainstream, whether that's as like characters or movies, right? That's a little bit on the fringe sides, and typically that's usually those are things we have to keep close to the chest, or not let out that I like this or I like that, or you know what, I'm really into when that guy fucking curb stomped him. And this thing happened because sometimes our inner people might want to act out in certain ways, and I'm not talking about killing people, but like dirty little secrets, dirty little fantasies, little fetishes, all of those. There's a whole psychological from there of why the forbidden thing appeals to people.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. They're not necessarily for everybody, but for some people, for sure, there is that fetishism about it, right? Like of whatever it is, right? Whether it's the imagery, whether it's the grotesque, whether it's like there's so many facets of horror, right? And I almost feel like we should have started by exploring the different facets of horror, but I'm not the guy that's an expert in the horror genre. But even when you're talking about horror movies, there are so many different types and levels of horror movies. You know what I mean? It's very different.
I think one thing it has in common is it's just not something you see every day, right?
100%. Well, for some, I mean,
if you're super into that thing, you're consuming it every day.
Correct.
But the types of things portrayed within horror genre are not things you see normally all the time.
Andre makes a good point here. He says the popularity of murder podcasts kind of ties into this. I mean, you're right. Absolutely. I feel like it's a lot of the same themes. I mean, I guess they fuel that same. I don't know if it's a need or if it's a passion, or again, it depends for everybody. And I think that's one of the things that we're going to try to explore tonight, guys. Is we're actually going to hear from a couple of different people. Now, unfortunately, there was a bunch of people that were lined up to send us some videos and talk a little bit about their passion for horror and why they got into it in the first place. Fortunately, I'm still waiting on some to get not to get back to me, but to send me their videos. That said they would send me their videos. I do, however, have a couple that are lined up, and I'm just checking now. Oh, it looks like I do have another one as well now that just sent it to me. So we've got a couple people who we're going to hear from. We're going to look at their stuff. They're look at their Instagram. They're obviously mostly cosplayers. Let's be honest. This is what we do, guys. We're a cosplay mainly podcast, so we're going to be talking and trying to feature some cosplayers as much as we can. Why Michael Myers? So when we decided we were going to do this, right, that we were going to do a horror theme, because I remember before we did this, we did like more of a Star Wars theme one year. We did more of weird light show, smoke, creepy thing one year. And then when we decided we wanted to do like a proper horror thing, we threw out a lot of ideas. And I think we kind of landed on this because you wanted to do Michael Myers, if I remember correctly.
I think so. I'm not sure with the chicken and egg scenario here because I know you're a big Friday the 13th fan in general, and you went that direction with Jason. And so I'm like, oh, if you're doing Jason, I'll do Michael Myers. I'm not sure if that's how it happened, or it could be such a simple thing where that was the movie series that I was submersing myself into at the time was the Halloween. Because I think at that time, forget which movie had come out at that time, but that was the new Halloween that had come out.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a combination of those things.
Mm-hmm. I think you might be right because I feel like I decided to do Jason because, well, you wanted to do Michael Myers, so I figured, well, fuck, if we're going down that route, then I'm for sure doing Jason. I mean, crying out loud. I mean, and that's my third mask that I've made. So yeah, I've been doing Jason. Actually, I did Jason many years ago when T, my youngest, was little. She did a witch, and I did Jason, and that was ages ago, like 10 years ago, if not more than that. So
anyway, I love the mask that I have right back here. So when we went out, we bought that Ghostface.
Natasha's saying here, Ghostface started as a Halloween costume for a party. Now he's the most cosplay character. And the robe, what does it say here? And the robe is 10 years old now. I mean, it is. You can't, if there's anything that is horror themed, you're going to see a Ghostface. At least one Ghostface, if not like 30. We did a horror themed day at Fan Expo a couple years ago.
Yes.
No, was it Fan Expo?
On the fur.
It was Fan Expo?
I think it was downstairs in the room, so it was Fan Expo.
So that was Fan Expo last year, not this year.
Yeah.
One of our days was a horror themed day, and there was a group of ghost faces that showed up. That was wicked because there was like 15 or 20 of them.
More than that, yeah. I feel like there's more. And you know what? Now that we're talking about all this, after the show, one of us will go through our photos and post photos to go along with some of this. I'll post the garage thing we did. We'll post the horror meetups that we've had. But yes, you have it there. Maybe you might be pulling.
Yeah, I'm looking for it right now, but
there was a lot of Ghostface and all kinds of different. You know, there was your standard Ghostface, but there was a lot of where people had done their own personal spin on it, made it different colors, different styles.
And that's what I appreciated. And when you watch the movies, they kind of go down that route at one point, right? Like at one point, the ghost faces start to change slightly, and and every single one after that starts being a little bit more personalized. So I like that people have taken it now that far where they're making their own. Right, it's still Ghostface, but it's their own version of Ghostface. And I love that. I that's the one thing about cosplay that I love is when you take a character and you make it your own, right? And then it looks cool and it looks like it belongs in that world, but it's your own, right? Yeah, I'm Oh, this was fantastic. I got to show this picture. This is not them, but this is our friend Meg Han. Secondhand shoes. I know it's not Meg Han, it's Megan, but it's Megan with an H. It's
silent H. Yeah.
Real hard for us not to talk about Megan without calling her Meg Han. But this is Megan and her friend. I forget her name now, and she's come out to a couple conventions, and I can't remember her name. And these were just two kids that were they just came along on our horror day, and they happened to be cosplaying the same character. So that was really, really dope, and that was so cool. So I'm still looking for the. Yeah,
what are we looking for?
We have a picture of them. The Ghostface group. I know we have pictures of them, but I don't know that they were posted. At least not on the Geeks and Co page. You know what? I'm gonna have to go back and I'm gonna post them. Well, there's one of them.
That was one of
Actually,
our
a couple of them.
On the subject of the show. Yes, this was one of the horror day was one of the most popular days, and I think it was the Friday, right? It wasn't even on the Saturday.
It was on the Friday, yeah. And we had one of the biggest groups.
We had one of the biggest groups for horror, which you don't see at Fan Expo
that
anymore,
day.
right?
You know what? I don't understand that. So the whole point of Fan Expo was to celebrate all the different fandoms. That's the way that I always understood it. And that's why you had gaming. That's why you had comics. That's why you had all sorts of different things at Fan Expo, because it's the fandom expo, right? It's about all the different fandoms. In a horror, or at least before the pandemic, horror was always a big thing. There was a whole section of the floor at Fan Expo that was horror themed. And they've completely dropped that. Like they don't have any real thing. They had the cast of Scream guys last year. The whole cast of Scream was there, but they didn't have a horror section.
Yeah, that's a little bit like
what a missed opportunity. I don't understand why they dropped.
I don't understand. Obviously, they have their reasons. It probably comes down to money, but
yeah, I don't.
Today.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. But yeah, so those guys were part of that group. These guys as well now. Twisted. Yeah. He comes out to all the shows now. We've seen him a couple times, and he also a horror actor. Like he goes to scare actor.
Yeah, I think he does. A lot of his stuff is like original, his own designs.
It is. You know what? That horror day that we had, we should do another horror day. I think we're gonna have to do a horror day at one of these cons. Oh well, look at that. There's my most recent Jason. Boom, there you go. Might as well show it off while we're here. I need to work on that mask.
Add some like stringy hair to it and stuff.
Yeah, I want to add some stringy hair. I want to make it dirtier, even though it's already like it doesn't. You can't tell on the picture, but it's way dirtier than it originally comes. But yeah, I need to fix that. I need to make that look better. I can't believe there's no pictures of our freaking. Oh, there he is, Mr. Myers. Dude, I'm telling you, man, like there's something about that specific mask for me that just does it. And that's the Rob Zombie version of the mask, right?
You put me on the spot here. I'm not sure.
I think this is the maybe Jeff, if you're still in the chat, I think that's the Rob Zombie version, the H2O version of the mask, and it's my favorite.
I think it came out after. I think this mask is from something that came out later, but
so the newer series.
I think it's part of the newer.
Maybe it's from this latest series.
Yeah. The one thing I do like about those masks is the progression of it from the very beginning to where we are now. Mask just keeps getting. It's a 40-year-old mask.
Yeah, and I'll admit that I love how the original mask is just a white mask with an ugly wig. Right now, they've actually made it look raggedy and old, and you know what I mean. Like they've taken
and that's
some
because
time.
in a lot of the case, yeah, they're taking some time to like make it look older, but that's because I think certainly in the newer series, the mask is it's the same mask that has been carried throughout like the timeline, right? So when he
So
picks
it's
it up
meant
at a
to be the
certain
same mask
point,
as the
it's
original
meant to
mask.
be this. Yeah, it's meant to be the same mask because I think it's how 20 Halloween 2018 where he's been in jail for however long, right? It's the same mask that's 25, 30 years old.
Right. I'm not a horror fiend like some other people here. But for sure, I feel like for a lot of people, obviously spooky season and Halloween are synonymous with horror. A lot of people now are going big with their decorations. They're going big with their setups at home. Like we started this and this turned into cosplay for us. Some people never stopped. It just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. H2O is not Rob Zombie saying producer Jen, who's actually watching us now. Michael Icon is saying 2018. So yeah, so it's from. So which one was the 2018 one? So it is from the 2018 movie, but which one was that?
I think it's just called Halloween.
So that's the difference. So that's the latest series that has come out. Then it has to be if it's 2018.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. Either way, it's my favorite mask of all of them. Our buddy Groot in London, collaborated cosplay. Man, they've set up this haunted. What are they calling it again? Let me pull up my my notes
haunted
here.
519 walk.
The Haunted Walk 519. He sent us a bit of a promo, guys. I'm going to play this little promo for you guys. It's just like a minute or 2 minutes long. I'll also read the text while we're doing this here. Let me bring it up for you. It's kind of neat, actually. This is kind of the route we were taking. This is doing it at another level. Let me does it? Oh, there we go. It's a little bit bigger. Let me read this to you. Haunted Walk 519, a thrilling Halloween experience hosted by Groot in London and his wife, Halloween Queen 1988. Celebrating 5 years of spine-tingling fun, they raised over 800 pounds of food and $1,600 for the London Food Bank last year.
Wow.
800 pounds of food raised for the
they
London
did that
last year. So that's amazing,
job.
Guys. That's wicked. The haunted house spans their entire front lawn, featuring animatronics, handmade props, projectors, laser lights, fog machines, sound effects, and live scare actors around every corner. Admission is free. Obviously, donations, non-perishable food items, Halloween props, and monetary contributions are greatly appreciated. Obviously, they help these guys expand every year. There's also going to be a special child and sensory-friendly time slot that's going to be running from 4 to 6 p.m., providing gentle introduction to Halloween. The real fright starts at 8 p.m., so 8 to 11. Dates are pending, guys. I guess it's going to be more of a weather-depending type of thing. But dates are pending. Be sure to follow their Facebook group, Haunted Walk 519. All the updates will be there. So if you're interested on Halloween night, or actually I'm assuming this is probably going to run a couple of weekends, or at least I hope it runs a couple of weekends, because they're going to get shit ton of people for something like that. Check out their Facebook page, Haunted Walk 519. And if you're in the London area, go check it out. It promises to be quite the fun. Now, we also have another friend of ours that also does some quite crazy stuff at Halloween time. Our friend Sheer Creations, Christina never does anything small, does she?
No, I don't think it's in her DNA to do anything small.
Yeah, I don't know that that's in the word small is in her vocabulary. I'm just going to bring up here. There you go. So this is kind of a little bit of the setup that she had going on last year.
Wow.
Again, she also has the whole haunted house setup, walkthroughs, and the whole deal. Outside is set up for October 1st. So the outside is set up now. The inside, the actual haunted house, is only going to be opened Halloween night. So Halloween night, if you're in that area, make sure you go check it out. I should have wrote the name of her Facebook page. There's also, you know what? We're gonna have to post this later again because there's also a Facebook page for her set up so that people can get more information on as well. Yeah.
There's a spider on the roof that you only see for like a brief second in this video. But I saw a picture of that. Not that one, but it's on the roof. Like it's huge. I thought it was Photoshop, but I see it now. That is in fact not a Photoshop. It's massive spider on the roof.
Yeah, I mean it's not in this video, I don't think, but you kind of see the legs a little bit. Oh, there it is.
Right there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is crazy.
We don't have anything like this in the neighborhood that I know of.
No. The amount of work that goes into setting up something like this is worth making the drive and going to see it.
Yeah.
Ravenwood Asylum. Oh, Christina's in the chat now. There you go. Ravenwood Asylum. So go to the Facebook page, check it out. All the info's there. Christina, if you have more info that you want us to share, just write it in the chat. I'll share it on the screen. But like I said, the outside, if you want to take a drive by there and check it out, it's open now. The inside, from what I understand, is only going to be on Halloween night. Tim is saying, where is this again? I'll let Christina fill you in on the exact details. But if you check out the Ravenwood Asylum Facebook page, all the details are there. Christina, I mean, not necessarily known for a horror actor, obviously still clearly into Halloween and obviously into some horror. I mean, look at this. So this is the creeper that Christina did at London Comic Con, and I mean, not the creeper, sorry, the clicker that Christina did at London. Listen, we decided we were going to do clickers at London Comic Con as well, and after seeing this, I've now decided I'm making a whole new mask.
I retired immediately.
Yeah, I am making a new mask. I started by painting the mask that I have now, which looks 10 times better than it did originally. I'm still not happy with it. I think I'm going to build a brand new mask. That is absolutely fucking bonkers. I don't know that I can do this, but I mean, fuck. That's the direction I want to go. We need to do more clickers. We need a group of clickers. That is freaking dope. Again, this is from The Last of Us, guys. Not necessarily a horror movie, but it's definitely from the horror genre, from the Last of Us horror video game and TV show. I think this is based on the TV show. Do the clickers look the same in the video game as they do in the TV show?
Not 100% sure. I think they're pretty close. Yeah,
they are. Yeah. Christina's saying Burlington. There you go. This is in Burlington.
There's a bunch of different types of like the clickers and bloaters and things like that in that show. But I'm pretty sure it's based on the video game pretty closely, the design of that character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we 100% need to do more horror days. I was saying Christina, not specifically a horror cosplayer. Christina, I mean, if you don't know Christina, go check out her page, sheer_creations. We've talked about Christina. We've had her on the show before. She also does this I don't know if you want to call it a zombie or I'm trying to scroll down her Instagram real fast to see if I can find a picture of it. Because it's pretty freaking crazy as well. There it is. Boom. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, Christina doesn't do anything half-assed. Everything is...
Wow.
Look at that.
That's
paint
amazing.
Job on that thing is amazing. That's what gets me. I'm not going to lie. I think one of the reasons I tend to... I don't do a lot of horror cosplays, but I love seeing people doing horror cosplays, and they're always so impressive, especially the good ones, because some of the details in the paint jobs that you see in some of the really good cosplays are just insane. Even some of the stuff that we've already shown on screen tonight. I mean, some of the paint jobs, the makeup jobs, the
paint jobs and the makeup jobs is, I was just going to say, I'm so impressed by a lot of the makeup artistry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's artistry is what it is, right? Here we go. Collaborate cosplayer. Our friend Steve or Groot in London is saying, I'm glad we finally got the wife's Gord cosplay at London Comic Con this year. It hasn't got seen as often. So it was nice to show it off more too. Yeah, I mean, Gord is I don't even know what that's from. Do you know what that's from? Is it like an original cosplay? Steve, let us
I'm pretty
know.
sure it's original cosplay. Yeah, no, that's his creation. It was really cool to see in person.
Yeah, I mean, I had seen pictures of it. I had never seen it in person either.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming it's going to be coming out for Halloween again. So, guys, if you're going Haunted Walk 519, I'm sure you're going to see Gourd as well.
It's
Mr.
huge too, just like
It is just as big as Groot.
his
Yeah,
Groot. Yeah.
yeah, it's massive. Our buddy Matt Sheridan here is saying my OCD is so appeased with the picture frames in your room. I know it's
You
been
know
a
what?
little
This one's a
bare.
little.
What are you gonna
This
do?
one's
You know?
off, but
Which one's yeah, one's a little crooked, but you know
that
that's
one's a
okay.
little crooked. But
We'll give you a pass on that one. We'll give you a pass on that one. Guys, like I was trying to say earlier tonight, we have reached out, or I have reached out to a number of people that are either like specifically big fans of horrors or horror cosplayers specifically. You know, asking them their opinions of why they got into cosplay or specifically into horror cosplaying or into the horror genre in general. Our friend Jeff, Monster of Midian, he's in the chat, you know, or at least he was in the chat earlier. I saw him posting. So Jeff, I don't know if you're hiding. We know you're there. You know what? Let me bring up actually his Instagram. Why don't we? We're gonna talk about Jeff. Let's bring up his Instagram.
yeah,
If you know Lindy Cosplay Supplies, you know who Jeff is. Lindy happens to be Jeff's mother. Come on, here we go. Monster of Midian. Now,
another Michael Myers cosplayer.
Jeff is one of those guys that, like we were talking about earlier, he's a horror guy. Actually, so is his fiance, Lacey. These guys are actual horror fans. They've got like a library of horror DVDs. I mean, if it's horror related, these guys are into it. This is dope.
Yes,
I've never even seen Terrifier, but Terrifier has been a very like Art the Clown specifically has been a very popular cosplay in the last couple years. Theirs are wicked. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very good. Yes.
I mean, how is that not creepy as fuck? I mean, I'm not scared of clowns. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm scared of clowns,
But you
but
wouldn't want to walk down this staircase and bump into him.
no. I probably wouldn't want to be at the top of that staircase looking down right now. No,
No.
I'll say that. So, Jeff has put together a like a 2-minute quick video here telling us a little bit about himself and how he got into specifically horror, the genre of horror. Let's see what Jeff had to say. Andrew is saying no sound. Rob, are you hearing sound?
I'm not hearing anything. I thought my internet was frozen again.
Okay. Well, give me a second, folks. Let me see if I can fix that for you guys. Let me see if I can fix that for you guys. We don't hear no sound. Okay. Yes. All right. I know.
We got it.
Let me see here.
Technical difficulties.
Oh, I have to share an entire screen to get sound. Well, that doesn't make sense.
Boo.
I have to share a tab or the entire screen. Well, what if I bring it on this screen then? Yeah, all
We
right,
can
let's share
play
the.
it and then just make up new words.
All right, let's just share the entire screen. I mean, I'm sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. What are you gonna do? All right, let's try this again. Hopefully, you guys can hear it now. Rob, let me know if you don't hear it. Let's move this guy over here. Man, a lot of stuff going on over here.
Hey, my name's Jeff, also known as Monster of Midian. The horror genre is something I grew up with and love to this day. I started when I was 5 years old, and it's continued on for decades. Hands down, my favorite genre. I can never get too old or too tired to go throw on a horror movie and watch. And actually watch it for like the thousandth, millionth time. Doesn't matter. Because it's nostalgia. Nostalgia is what brings me back to watching anything in my collection. It is absolutely great. Family is what got me into it. My mother was big into watching everything, but then when she found out that I enjoyed horror movies and more, she just kept bringing them home. And then eventually she told me to go to the video store and rent them. So I got to go and rent horror movies every single weekend until they pretty much closed. So it's been a long road of horror movies and great times, honestly. And now I get to cosplay them. I've been cosplaying for a few years now, and I pick characters that I know that resonate with me the most, the ones that I can really put them together and put my keen eye on it. And then once you build the entire thing, bring it out to the public and show it in the wild, and people actually are very receptive and they come and get pictures with you and tell you it looks great and all that stuff. And if you go into a competition and you get more gratitude from that, all the power to you. However, it's just a great hobby of mine. I don't look for validation. I just look for what I like the most. And that goes for any of the movies that I watch. It's just whatever resonates the most with me. And that's why I do cosplay some of my favorite horror characters like Michael Myers, Art the Clown. Totally great characters, and they are received well. It is a lot of fun. I get a kick out of scaring people, small and big. It is great. And it just adds to my love of doing it more, because once I get the feedback from it, it makes me want to do it more. And honestly, I'll never stop watching horror movies, and I will never stop cosplaying for the most part, I guess. So thanks to the Geeks & Co. for having me on. Greatly appreciate it, guys, and look forward to the next convention.
Jeff made a couple of really good points here. He talked about nostalgia. I feel like for a lot of people, the horror thing, we were talking about why is horror such a big thing, and I feel like there was a period in time where in the movie world, horror was such a big thing. There were horror movies coming out every week almost. It felt like in the 80s and 90s, right? They were huge. And like anything else, right? Like my love of Transformers and my love of geeky things and Predator and nostalgia plays a big part in that. So I'm not all that surprised that nostalgia plays a big part in like Jeff's love for horror and what it means to him and why he even started cosplaying in the first place.
Yeah, like you said, it started when he was 5 years old, which would have been, probably back in that time. You know what? And it just clicked on me when watching this movie. I think I was just, or this video, I was just watching my son 10 years from now, because he is going through this kick for the last year or two.
Mm-hmm.
He's watching every horror movie I can throw at him. He's watching stuff that I don't even want to watch. So I don't know if he's going to be a horror cosplayer or a serial killer, but he is consuming all of it.
I mean, what's he into now? Like, what right now is the series of horror movies that he's watching?
Oh, you know what? I have to load up my Plex, but every time he's like, "Can you load up? Get this movie from like all of it, anything you name it." He's asked me to download it, watching it, all the Ring movie, the Rings, Silent Hills, like everything. Thankfully, he hasn't asked for the Human Centipede yet because I'm not downloading that, but like everything. And I'm like, that doesn't scare you? You're not irked by that? No, it's fine. Okay.
So is that, and this is going to sound like a weird thing, but is that like where did they get, like where did he get that bug from? Is that from you guys watching horror movies?
I don't know.
Where
it's
is
a good
it?
question. It might be perhaps from us. It could be within the friend group, right?
Mhm.
Because I'd have 7, 8 kids come over to my house after school, and watch a horror movie. Maybe there must be into it at that age. I don't know. Maybe it's something, and we're talking
Really?
about that's where it took deep root in us when we were younger.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but we were around back then when those movies came out, right? So like, it's a nostalgia thing for us, but I'm surprised to hear you say that kids are actually into horror movies these days, which is, I mean, it's fantastic because sometimes it feels like a lot of the things that we're into are just going to die when we go, right? Because kids aren't into the stuff that we're in, right? But I didn't realize kids were actually into the horror genre.
Yep, that genre is not dead. It's alive and well.
I'm trying to download here. Actually, I may not have to download this one. I may be able to play this one right from
I mean,
here.
Natasha makes a good point here. Mortal Kombat, Dead by Daylight, and Fortnite are why kids love horror icons. Great point. My kids get Dead by Daylight posters all over the place. They're not so much into Fortnite. They were, but they grew into, I guess, some other pieces. But yeah,
I don't even know what that is.
Video games. I think Dead by Daylight's a video game.
Dead by Daylight. Yeah, unfortunately, I've never heard of that one. Huh. When we started having this conversation about doing a spooky season themed month of October, because this is what you're getting, guys. All month of October, we're going to be celebrating Halloween and horror. I don't want to spoil too much of what's coming up. We have an idea that we've been throwing around that I think would be really funny. It does require a little bit of setup ahead of time. But I think we cannot not do it now that we've talked about it. So
yeah, we gotta try.
We gotta figure out how to do it. If it means we have to figure out a way to get together, I don't know, but we gotta figure something out. But stay tuned, guys, because this is gonna be quite the month of October. I can tell you that right now. Like I said, it's for the most part, it's our favorite month of the year. So hang on to your shorts because it's gonna get interesting. Holy shit, we've already been on for 48 minutes and we haven't. It feels like we just started talking about this. When we started talking about doing a spooky season month of October podcasts, one of the things that we wanted to do, or one of the ideas that you threw out, was to bring on some scare actors and you know, that type of stuff. And we haven't really worked out a way or a theme or something that makes sense to bring on a scare actor and talk about that specifically. However, I did reach out to one of the scare actors that we were talking about, which is I Am Twisted.elegance. Let me see here. Let me see if I can again.
Do you remember at all the first time we kind of met her?
You know what? I don't. Because I know that we've met her. I forget where it was.
So I think it was the horror. You know how you said Scream, the cast of Scream, was at Fan Expo.
Yes.
So I forget who it was that we were tagging along with. They were getting a picture with like Skeet Ulrich and a couple of the actors at Scream. So we were in line in Predator. That was the gig, right?
Yeah.
She met us in line there. She was in line waiting to go in for a picture with them, and we met her in line there.
So anyway, we'll bring up her profile here quickly. I Am Twisted Elegance. Her name's Nicole, self-proclaimed horror fiend. You know, like I said, there are people that are just into horror, right? Like horror is their thing, and I think Nicole. Well, you'll see in her video, she considers herself more of a special effects and makeup than a cosplayer. That being said, she has become a scare actor just recently, and so I reached out to her. Said, "Hey, you want to tell us why, how, or what's going on? Like, what's the deal?" So she shot us a small video as well. So let's bring that up quickly and let's take a look at that. Hopefully, this one will actually play with sound this time. Now that I somewhat know what I'm doing here.
No.
No sound?
No sound. Sorry, bud. I'm not hearing any sound.
No sound still?
I don't know. If we get anybody in the chat want to let us know, but I'm not hearing any sound.
What the hell? What is this? No audio still. Man, thought we had this figured out.
No audio.
There you go. There you go.
Working on it.
And let's try this number 2.
Send
it.
Hi, my name is Nicole, and I'm known as I am Twisted.elegance on Instagram.
Tell me there's audio now.
It's all good.
Aha.
We're here to talk
See, it takes us a long time to get things right, but eventually we get there. What can I say?
about cosplay. So when it comes to cosplay, I'm more about the special effects makeup side of things, more so than like the full-on cosplay. I usually work with makeup, and then everything kind of falls into place afterwards. Some of the characters I've been known to do are a gender bender of Pennywise, Art the Clown. I've done Megan. She's a monster in her own way. I've done Chucky. I've done Jamie Lloyd. I've been known for her. And more recently, Cindy from Scary Movie. What brought me into like the horror genre and in kind of like the cosplay and special effects makeup world is the fact that I've always loved scary movies. I grew up loving Halloween and doing my own makeup and creating my own monsters with a twist. So I usually like play on that. And like I also love the fact that like scary movies keep you on the edge. It's the thrills. It's like even through makeup, just seeing like holy, like they made that through makeup is truly amazing to me. So that's why I've always loved it, and it's always been a passion of mine. Even so that now I created my own twist. So I do work for a haunted house during the season, and I am the corpse bride, and I've created my own makeup twist for that. And I just love the thrill of scaring somebody. I know that sounds kind of morbid, but yeah, absolutely love it. And honest truth, I love and I admire all the cosplayers out there and the amount of work and time they put into their outfits. It's just a truly wonderful thing.
So Nicole said something that I think rings true. Well, for me anyway, is the whole scaring people, and I'm not the you know what I mean. That's not what I mean by scaring, right? But there's something about when we're in our predator costumes and people don't expect us, and they turn the corner and they see us, and you freak them out, right? Like, or when we're doing Jason or Michael Myers or whatever the case is, when you're in that costume, you're that character, right? And all of a sudden, I don't know. There's like this thing about it's almost fun to freak people out, to creep them out, right? That's to scare them. Do you think that's? I mean, I think at the top of the show you were mentioning the whole psychological thing, but I feel like the emotional reaction to it has a lot to do with why people are into horror. The scare thing, the not just being scared, but scaring and all that stuff. Do you think that's a big deal for people? The shock value, like Matt Sheridan is saying.
Absolutely, I think it is. You nailed it with emotion, right? Anything that invokes emotion, I was gonna say sells well. I mean, you're not selling anything, but it's appealing, right? And it there's adrenaline associated with it, which is a drug, right? Which gets your brain going. So absolutely, I think I would totally agree with that.
Are there? I mean, if there's a horror movie out there, you've pretty much seen them all at this point. I'm pretty sure you and your wife have been into horror movies. I mean, I don't want to say you're like huge into horror movies, but typically when a new horror movie comes out, you guys go see it.
Horror movie?
Yeah.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. Not so much. I don't like. I'm at a point in my life where I don't like jump scares. The
Yeah, fair enough.
suspense, right? That's not good for. I don't want that intense. I don't want to be jump
Mhm.
scared. To be honest with you, I'm not into suspense stuff. My son, the to be potential serial killer, will go with my wife and they go see it.
Right. Right. So you backed off a little bit.
I've backed off a little bit. I just want to go back to the last point you were talking about, like not like scaring people, the thrill of scaring people.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not intentional, but I know you're going to be able to relate to this. Not only the kids, so when there's young kids and they look at you like you're that thing, you're that alien predator, it's almost like a magic show to them because they think you're that character. And the fear you see in their face is genuine. And I'm not saying I take enjoyment out of that fear, but
But you do. But you do.
but I kind of do. But where I'm going with this is when people bring service pets through, service dogs,
Mm-hmm.
and you definitely can't scare those service dogs, but they look at you like they've never seen anything like this before, and they are not cool with us. They do not like us whatsoever. So I think whatever emotion that is being invoked is like cross species, right?
Yeah, dogs don't tend to not like us in our predator costumes. I've yet to see a dog. Actually, at VonCon, there was somebody with a service dog that came through, and the dog was like, wasn't sure, but he didn't freak out. Usually, dogs
They don't freak out, but they're like, you're bad.
They're like, nope, nope, we're going the other way.
Even when you take off the mask, the dog's like, that's not
Yeah.
helping.
Yeah, they're like, nope, no, this is not for me. Guys, there's a couple more people that we're gonna send us some videos as well. Actually, there's one specifically. Maybe we can bring up his Instagram. He did send me his video. I can't get it loaded for some weird reason. I can't run it. Funny enough, his name is Aiden as well. Wrench of Horror. Come on. Here it is. So maybe what we'll do is over the next few weeks, over the month of October, if some more people can send me out their little quick, 2 or 3 minute, or maybe 1 or 2 minute video, I should say, on their relationship with the horror genre and why they got into horror cosplays per se. I mean, somebody else that does a lot of Michael Myers. Actually, I believe this is the same mask you have, or maybe not. Or maybe he just did an extra paint job to it, but oh no, that's the newer mask.
Yeah,
that's burned.
Burned, yeah.
Yeah. So Aiden, if you're watching, I apologize, man. I can't seem to get your there's a great Freddy. Wow, that actually looks really good. That looks really good. Guys, if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast platform, you should really come and check this episode on YouTube. We're actually showing a lot of pictures. We're showing some videos. This is a great friggin' Freddy.
Wow. A lot of great cosplayers we're showing here.
Yeah, this is a great Freddy. Aiden, I'll try to get your video downloaded and running, and like I said, if other people can send me their videos, I can show them over the next few weeks. Every once in a while, we'll say, we'll pop in with somebody's video. Horror cosplays. We're going to do more horror cosplay. I can guarantee you that. Oh, there he is. He's in the chat right now. He also had some trouble uploading the video. Well, there you go. So I'm glad I'm not the only one with having some technical difficulties here.
We appreciate you, though, Aiden, for sending that in to us.
Yeah, 100%. We're going to do more horror cosplays. I can guarantee you that. Actually, we're still working and upgrading our clickers. We're going to do more clickers. Guarantee we're going to do more clickers. Actually, we got a clicker photo shoot. Got a Last of Us photo shoot coming up in October.
Couple of weeks.
Do you remember what the date is now? I need to make sure
it's like the
20th. Something out that weekend.
Yes, it's the 20th, I think.
Was that confirmed? I thought it was later. Well, either way, I don't have anything on my calendar for right now.
After,
yeah. You know what? Let's confirm that. Either way, we're doing Last of Us photo shoot, so we're definitely doing more Last of Us, more clickers. Like I said, I want to do a whole new clicker mask. So maybe we do another horror day at one of these next cons. Maybe we're due for a horror day. I feel
I
like
think we are.
I feel like it's one of those themes that Fan Expo has lost out on, and we need to bring back. What do you guys think? Are there any horror fans in this damn show that want to see more horror at Fan Expo? I know I do.
That's a yes from me.
There you go. El Rabo, anything coming up for you? I don't think we really have anything other than that photo shoot coming up for us in the next little while, do we? Oh, well, we have Game Expo, sorry, in
Game
November,
Expo,
but that's
yeah.
still like a month and a half away.
Yeah. No, I don't have anything much going on other than that photo shoot, which is nice. I got a lot going on, and it's nice to take a little bit of a break.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to focus a little bit on figuring out my 3D printers a little bit more.
Yeah.
I might, like I talked about the Rex helmet here earlier. Start thinking about maybe working on a clone trooper.
Mm-hmm. If you do that, you planning on going the 3D printed route or the polystyrene route?
That's the fork I'm at right now. Which route to go on that? Just trying to find some patterns and STL files for the 3D printer. I don't know. This was just an idea I came with as I was setting the room up.
Yeah, we should talk more for sure. Guys, if you're still with us, thank you so much. Appreciate you guys taking us through this hour long of us just ranting like we usually do. A couple of old guys just ranting away for no reason. Don't forget to click the like button. Please. There's a bunch of you guys in the chat now. Click that damn like button. If you haven't already, I'm holding each and one of you responsible for not clicking that like button. No, just kidding. It really helps us out, though. It lets the algorithm know you guys like the show. But I'll be honest, you guys just watching is amazing. You guys sticking out, you guys chatting, you guys blowing up the chat every week is amazing. Oh, there we go. We just lost El Rabo, the bad guy. He's been having internet issues all night. So that will be our cue, guys. Matt Sheridan saying, love you guys. A great show tonight. Thank you very much, buddy. More non-501 first troopers. We need all the non-501 first troopers, bud. That's what we do. We're cosplayers, my friend. Guys, thanks for watching. This was a great show. We're going to do more Halloween stuff next week. Make sure you stay tuned because it's going to be posted on our Instagram. In the meantime, stay geeky. We'll see you then. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Geek Boutique Podcast. Like always, if you prefer to listen to us, you can find us on all major podcast platforms. Now, make sure you don't forget to click that like and subscribe button, as well as the notification bell to make sure you never miss anything.